Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to BIMChat. My name is Dineo Pearl Mudise, and this evening we get to talk to one of the coaches who are very highly regarded in basketball coaching, and looking at his involvement at national team level, both with the ladies and the men. He is currently the Stellenbosch basketball head coach. We're talking to Coach Kimathi Toboti. So if there are any questions that you would like to ask Coach Kimathi, please feel free to drop them below. And let's see if we can't. I see that he has already joined into the chat. Let's just send him a request and see what happens. I see Coach Clem has joined. Kimathi 23 has joined, but let's see. On the request side, it's showing that he's unable to join. Not sure why. Because I know he's watching, but he's unable to join. Coach Kimathi, can you please just try and see on your end if you can't send me a request? Because I can't send a request on my side. I see Cape Town Basketball has also joined us, as well as Cyril Shabalala and Kimathi there. And there we have him. Good evening, Coach.
Evening, Dineo.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening as we get to talk to you. I know you are one of the, if I can say, the biggest coaches in the game of basketball in the country. You're constantly advocating for women's basketball as well. So we appreciate the time that you have given us to just sit down and chat to you about your journey as a coach, and also just the views that you have on certain issues around basketball.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm honored.
And can we just start things off from where you first started coaching? I know you started first coaching at Walter Sisulu University. Can you tell us when did you arrive there and just the experience that you had coaching that team?
Okay, so when I first started coaching basketball was in high school, actually. I coached Lawson Brown High School, and then I got to coach the province under 16 boys. I think at that time, I don't know if you know Scoop, Mbombo, and all those guys were playing in that team, so I coached them. And then from there, I went to Eastern Cape Technikon, now Walter Sisulu, and I coached there for a couple of years, was studying as well. And then I got an offer to go and coach at Rhodes University.
Hi, Coach.
Hi there.
Sorry, I think there was a bit of a problem with my network, but I think we're connected again now.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yes, so I was saying, so I left from high school. I went to Eastern Cape Technikon, which is Walter Sisulu now, and then I went to Rhodes. From Rhodes, I went to the Free State and I coached CUT, and then CPUT in Cape Town, and then now at Marty's.
And can you tell us a bit about the whole experience when CUT rather wanted to participate in, or went ahead to participate in, the Gauteng Basketball League? Because at that time, I believe there was no league in the Free State.
Oh, those were amazing times, actually. We used to travel. We used to travel on Fridays in the Gauteng Basketball League. It was fun. We had fun, and we actually competed. It was taxing on the body, but it was worth it.
And one must definitely commend you, Coach, for all the support and the determination that you have for the game of basketball. And I think the team ended off 5th in the league out of 12 teams. So, as I'm saying, we must commend you for the effort that you guys put in to achieve that goal and to continue playing in the league and to continue putting your body under such strain, all in pursuit of greener pastures.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. I think that the team, the guys put a lot of effort into playing in the Gauteng Basketball League. But it was nice to just teach guys about a lot of things in basketball that they can take into life. So it was basketball, yes, but I think the most important thing is how to nurture their lives and how to take their lives forward.
And one of those things I think was time management, because I know you definitely needed to manage your time when you had to travel. I know yourself traveling from, I think, Kimberley to Bloemfontein, and then traveling again from the Free State Province to Gauteng with the team.
Yeah, no. We the one thing I like is we never forfeited a game. Whilst we played in the league, we've never been late for a game. We never forfeited a game. And it was nice. It was a nice experience.
And Coach, can you take us through your journey with CPUT now? They played in the Western Cape Universities League. Can you share a bit of the memories that you have coaching CPUT?
When I got to CPUT, the first year I was with the men. I was coaching the men with Kita. And then the second year I took over with the ladies. We were building. We basically had 5 players or 6 players in the team, but we were able to get a pretty good bunch of players. And we played in the league. We won the league, I think 6-7 years in a row. USA qualifiers, we went to USA Nationals. We made it to the finals, I think 3 years in a row. 2 years in a row. It was one of those teams that it was a special team. It was a special team in terms of coaching in women's basketball. I got to learn a lot from those girls because you know how people think. They think that when you're a coach, you know everything, and actually you don't. So it was nice to work with like very nice girls. You didn't know what to do with them, but you understand that they're kids. Some of them are getting to be adults, so you need to start changing the way that you coach to accommodate them.
And now, looking at the present that we're living in, you are the head coach for Stellenbosch basketball. Can you tell us how that came about and when you arrived there?
So Stellenbosch, it was a 2-year up and down. Stellenbosch had been contacting me, wanting me to coach at Stellenbosch, but I think I was happy at CPUT. But at one day, I just felt that I would like to give my assistant coach and my manager an opportunity to also coach. So if I never left, and they were both women, and if I never left CPUT, I don't think that they would have been given an opportunity to coach. So I eventually agreed to apply for a position at Stellenbosch, and then I got the position. But there was a lot of to and fro in terms of my interest with Stellenbosch. And if you know Western Cape dynamics, if you look at Stellenbosch and you look at CPUT was this dominant force that was winning everything. And Stellenbosch wasn't even making it to the finals. So some of the things that came out was, no, but you're going to lose. But I think at that stage of coaching, I've realized that, winning is nice, but also building a new culture, teaching kids, getting kids to study. The winning part never came to mind. It wasn't something that was one of my top things to, okay, I need to go and win. It was a new challenge. How do I build that program to one day be like a CPUT, like a WITS, like a VAL? So that was my goal when I went to Stellenbosch.
But if we look at it, Coach, Western Cape really has, if I can say, strong team and strong talented players. And if you could just tell us what your views are on the development of Western Cape's basketball, looking at the district level, provincial level, and also just the influence of the BNL, and how has the Western Cape been able to develop so well over the years?
I think credit should go to the clubs. So you have very good clubs and very good coaches. If you're looking at your Montana Vikings, Heidelberg, Cape Waves. There's so many clubs at the junior level. You start from under 12s to under 18s, and they would play basketball every Saturday. They're there from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 p.m. Playing basketball every single week, and you had so many clubs. So you have plus minus 12, 14 clubs playing at a junior level. So that brings about a certain level of competition. On top of that, there is a school league that also plays weekly. Your Heidelberg, your Herschel, your Western Cape Sports School, Camps Bay High. So you've got so many teams in the high school. You've got so many teams in the club. So that work that those coaches put in, it makes it a lot easier for your provincial coaches to choose players, because they have a very big pool to choose from. So yes, I think that's the secret to Western Cape doing well at a development level. I think the only thing that's missing now is for us to be able to get those kids from high school into the university. So we've lost a lot of players along the way. Some players would drop out after matric. Some players would fail matric, and they wouldn't want to go and rewrite, because of stigma and everything else.
Yeah.
So I think our biggest goal and our biggest drive that we need to do now is how to take those kids from matric into university.
Yeah, I think you partially answered a question that was posted by Tepo, and he said that Western Cape has been performing very well at youth level. What are you guys doing to prepare your players? I think you answered it a bit there through the statement that you just made now.
Yes. So yeah, I think my last statement wraps it up, and I think we're gonna get it right. I think we're gonna get it right. We just need to continue working. We need to continue working together. We need to work with the clubs. The clubs play a major role. The club. I see sometimes coaches we boast a lot at the varsity level that now this is my place. That's not your player. That player was molded at a development level, at under 12, under 14, under 16. Those coaches that have been putting time and time and time into their kids. So we need to come in and see how we assist clubs into developing those players, but also making sure that they get into school.
Absolutely agree there, Coach. Question from Rexy here. He asks, which team or university is the best when coming to the league?
Club league or university league?
I believe he posted that while we were discussing the university league. So I think he means the university league.
So currently, in terms of the ladies, UCT and Marties are the top two teams in the Western Cape. I think the past 3 years we've gone to the finals with them. twice. And in terms of the men, UCT, it's UWC and Marty's are the top two teams in varsity basketball.
And another question here from Tandiwe, who says, what is your biggest wish for women's basketball? And I think I'll just add on to that question as well, just to get your views on how women's basketball can grow in South Africa.
I think the most important thing for me is how do we create a conducive environment for women to succeed. I think the past 2-3 years we've been talking about how to get women involved, how to support women, how to get more women coaches. But I'll make an example about when I left CPUT. We had two coaches coming in who were women, but they never got the respect that I got when I was there. So automatically we feel that if we take Dineo and Dineo becomes a coach, then everything is done. But I think what we need to do in South African basketball is to say, okay, fine, I'm gonna give Dineo that opportunity, but I need to make sure that have I trained or have I conditioned the players to understand that coach, even though she's new to coaching, or even though she doesn't have the experience that I have, but she can coach, she can do the job, give her the opportunity, so that when she starts coaching, she doesn't have a lot of hurdles in front of her. So I feel like there's so many hurdles in front of women coaches that when they come in, they're destined to fail. So my wish is, even when we go into administration, even if we go into them taking up positions, whatever positions they take, we need to ensure that we make it conducive for them to succeed. And currently, I don't think we have gone into that yet. We haven't prepared for that. So there will come a time where we say, okay, cool, Dineo will come in, you're going to be coach, or Dineo will come in, you're going to be president of BSA. But then the environment is not conducive to succeed.
I think we lost you there for a few seconds.
So I was saying, I don't know which part you lost, but I was saying, I think it's important that when we do get women involved, when we do get them into the positions, that we do make sure that it's conducive for them to succeed. So we need to put in the support to make sure that they succeed.
And I think that goes hand in hand with the role that you play in, I think I could say, promoting and developing
Can we do to have a structure to organize tournaments? Vikao Pau, light basketball.
Coach Kimathi. Hi.
Hi, how are you? I was answering questions here because I see that your data is not doing well today.
It's
So,
not the data, coach, it's the network.
okay. Is Kimathi Kenyan by any chance? Yes, my name is Kenyan.
Are you Kenyan, coach?
No, I'm not Kenyan. I'm Xhosa. But
Okay.
my name is Kenyan.
Oh,
There's a question that
okay.
was asked: top 3 ladies varsity programs in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say one is Wits. I
And we
like.
actually have a Wits player that is tuned in now. I saw Ipileng Nyatlo has joined as well. So I think
Yeah.
she can attest to that. She can definitely attest.
Yeah. So I like Wits. One of the team programs that I like is Wits. I like how they structure the program. Some of the programs that they run. They have tournaments, women only tournaments. So I like the way that they've set up their program. It doesn't okay. So my top 3 has nothing to do with winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my second program that I like is UJ. I love what Coach Mandla has been able to do with UJ for over a period of years in terms of building that program to be a strong program. It is able to take kids that in some years you have a bad recruitment season where you don't have players that are great. He has
Yeah.
over a number of years being able to grow that program. And the third one, obviously, I would add Marty's. I can't leave Marty's out. I think, and it's nothing about how well we're doing, but I think it's about the resources that the university has been able to put in to try
Yeah.
and get Marty's basketball to be one of the top 4 or 5 codes at Marty's. So the amount of money that they've been pumping in, amount of resources, amount of coaches that they help us with in terms of conditioning and psychologists. So it's amazing so those
Wow.
3 programs in terms of growth, I think I like those 3.
And any female basketball players that you would say that we should keep on the lookout for?
Yo, that's a tough one. So okay, so there's a girl from Soweto that I met last year at the one tournament that I forgot what the tournament was. She's from the Soweto Basketball Club, I think it's Academy, something like that. She's quite good. I don't know her name. I've been looking at her and watching her play. There's that's at a junior. Are you talking about a junior level or senior, or doesn't really matter?
It doesn't really matter. Just any female basketball player that you feel needs the recognition that they deserve for the hard work and just the way that they play and how they carry themselves.
Okay. Um, uh, as, as, so a second player that I think has a great future in basketball is Amber. Amber plays for Montana Vikings. She can play any position 1 to 5. One of my hopes is that she can get into school probably next year. I don't think she's in school this year, but that's a very very good player. She's got so much talent. I think she can do amazing things. So on the top of my head, I think those 2 players come to mind.
And thank you for your input there, coach. Another question from Tepo says, which names come to mind when you hear South African women basketball legends?
Oh, here you're talking about Sis Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
Sis Brenda, there was a late. She played in the national team long time ago. She was at one stage she was coaching Tux. She's very very
Mm-hmm.
active in she in basketball. But I think she's a legend for me because of what she does off the court. So we a lot of times we worry about who can do what, who can play well and whatever. I think she has been able to motivate a lot of coaches, a lot of players to do well. In terms of playing, I enjoyed watching Sophie Yuzo. She used to play from she's also from Pretoria and Lebu. Those two players, when I used to watch women's basketball, those two players were quite good players in my times. And recently, I would say Pumla Satula. The way that she handles herself, the way she's calm on the court, so yeah, those are the people that I would say are legends in South African basketball. And Emma Ludwaba, if you look at her career and the amount of years that she played in South African basketball and represented the country, went overseas, you can't leave her out of that as well, So yeah.
I got a bit nervous when I thought that you were done. I got a bit nervous and like,
Nah.
hopefully you'll
remember. No.
Definitely you can forget.
You can never leave Emma out of the topic. Never.
Absolutely not, Coach. And I think before the network had jammed, I don't know if you were still answering my question or not. Does it say? I think I can ask it again with regards to how we can develop coaching. I know that you offer coaching courses, as I was saying previously, across different provinces. So how do you think we can develop coaching, particularly of women's basketball?
So I think one of the things that I've been fortunate enough to do, besides coaching my clubs, Nyanga Rebels and Marty's, is conduct coaching courses in the different provinces. So I've done coaching courses in the Northern Cape, I've done in the Free State, in the Western Cape, and for us to do that, it requires us to be organized. We need to understand that coaches don't just wake up and are born and are coaches. So there's only so much going to the YouTube can do for you as a coach in terms of helping you to build a program and helping you to build skills for you to be able to coach. So regardless whether you're woman or man, I think that's important. I think we need to get to a level where we have a strong basketball South Africa who run continuous coaching courses, recognized coaching courses, so that when someone goes there, when they leave there, they can have something to say, okay, fine, I am an accredited basketball coach. So we need to be organized, and currently we're not organized, whether it's at a district level, provincial level, at a national level. At least I can say in most districts and provinces we're getting there, but my biggest worry is at the national level. We way behind. And I look, over the weekend I was watching Giants of Africa on Netflix, and you see countries like Kenya, Rwanda, Nigeria getting opportunities, and you look and you look at the infrastructure that we have as a country. You look at how many indoors you have in Joburg, how many indoors you have in Cape Town. So you look at the infrastructure compared to Africa, and unfortunately, when people want to invest in basketball in the continent, South Africa is not even one of the countries that they think of, and that requires, we can change that. We need to change that, and I like the current move of players wanting to get involved into politics, wanting to get involved in administration, because I believe those are the people that are going to fix it. But the current people, us who are currently there, it's too late for us. We need fresh blood to come in with fresh ideas to take the sport forward.
And I think that it's good that we we have an opportunity like now to sit down and talk about this and get the word out so that if it does fall on the right ears, they kind of get that feeling that they should come back and help grow and develop basketball. And we do need their help. We can't only, if I can say, have a few people that want to go in. We need like a full team where we can sit down, have roundtable discussions, and just lead on one idea.
I look at basketball and I look at how many educated people we have in basketball. We've got marketers, we've got lawyers, we've got accountants.
Yeah.
We've got so many, and that's one thing I love about basketball. You've got so many people who have graduated, who know the industry, who know corporate industry, and those are the people that we need. I think we've gone a lot the political way in terms of getting people with political connections. It hasn't done anything for the sport, So getting in people who are educated around how corporate works, around administration, how to build an organization. Those are the people now that we require. It might take us 5 years to get back to where we need to be, to even start competing at any level. But at least we will be going in the right direction. But political connections don't work anymore.
I absolutely agree there. It's best to have people that are led by passion of the game and just put the politics aside for a change. And a very interesting question that Coach Clement has posted here. And he says, in your opinion, if we do everything right from development to pro, how long will it take us to get to a level of the World Cup and Olympics?
15 years.
15 years.
I look at, I've been fortunate enough to be involved at a national team level for both men and women. I've been at USA level national team for women and men as well. And I would see how the players would go to an international tournament and compete. But if you look at the preparation time that they had, it's like zero. Like they meet on a Friday because some of the guys are working, some of the guys are doctors, some of the guys are teachers and whatever. They meet on a Friday, they train Friday, Saturday, Sunday they're on a plane to go and play wherever. But still, they're still able to go and compete against countries who are playing basketball week in, week out. Yes, when they come back and they lose, everybody is caught up on, they lost this game, they lost to this team, they lost to what. But people don't really understand what happens in the background. So in terms of there's no investment to the players. I can count how many competitions where actually there was an investment, where players were able to get paid to be away from work. So I think when you had Cyril in, he talked about people are working. You can't just leave your work and come and play basketball. So people would go to work, come on a Friday, do that, and still go and compete. So imagine if we had enough resources for them to train, enough for them to go and compete. I think that would take time. But if we start now, the reason why I'm saying 15 years is if we start with the under 16s now, under 14s now, and we put everything in place for them to be able to go to Olympics, when they're turning 28, 29, that this would be the best time. So it takes time. If you look at countries, you look at Nigeria, you look at Angola, you look at Senegal, they just didn't just make it. They kept on working on the programs, and boom, it happened. Then they became a world force.
I think 15 years is a fair enough time frame, Coach, and I'm also hoping that it will happen. It would definitely be something exciting to witness. Because as I said, it's an interesting question. I've also wondered about it. I've also wondered when would South Africa be ready, to represent us at the Basketball World Cup or at the Olympics. So I think 15 years is fair enough.
No, it is. We just need to be serious about it. And being serious it starts now. It starts with us in our provinces. And as I saw there was a question from Tsepo to say, how do we fix it at the national level? I think the first part is we need to have elections. You can't change anything if you don't have elections. We can't have people in power for 6, 7 years, 5. They don't want to call elections. So the only way that we can force that is to make sure that provinces are legit, and provinces then request Basketball South Africa to account, and for AGMs to happen. If people want that same executive back, then that's fine. At least they've gone to elections and people have decided what they want. But we can't just have people in office and not leaving their seats because they want to sit in positions.
Yeah, very well said, Coach. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for once again allowing us to basically go through your journey as a coach and just talking about specific issues that we still have in the basketball community in our country. And we appreciate it once more that you've given us this opportunity. And we wish you the best with the Marty's basketball team. And I have no doubts that as you or having you as their coach would lead them into greener pastures and into successful seasons.
Thank you very much, Tineo. Thank you to this platform. I think we undervalue anything which doesn't have to do with playing. So, like I said earlier on, we worry too much about playing basketball and winning games and forget that platforms like yourselves, Cape Town Basketball on Instagram, that promote the game are also important. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, Coach, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Bye, Coach.